Hello there, EDF friends. On this video I want to talk about what is arguably the hardest mission in the entire game, DLC, non-DLC, and that would be Crimson Lotus, or at least this mission is akin to Crimson Lotus. It is DLC Pack 2, Mission 13. This mission is probably the hardest mission in my opinion. Maybe 14 might be close one, but I still think 13 is harder. And mainly it's because there's just... Well, actually I would say the hardest part in this mission is the tadpoles and, I don't know, maybe the ending, the bosses. First of all, let's cover what this mission involves, the different phases. For Phase 1, you spawn in and there are 4 Deroys in front of you, and there's a bunch of small drones in front of you, and then silver spiders behind you. And in order to proceed to the next phase, it is point-based again. So what that means is once you kill enough enemies, the next phase comes in. Unfortunately, there's going to be quite a bit of enemies left over for Phase 2. So usually when you kill the 4 Deroys and there's also a giant drone ship in the air as well. Once you kill the giant drone ship, the 4 Deroys, and then probably the majority of the drones, you're going to have the next phase come in. Unfortunately, it's kind of close. I mean, you could try and take out just the legs of the Deroys, and kill the drones, and then kill some of the spiders, and just leave the Deroys without their legs. But that doesn't really seem to make much of a difference either. You're probably going to have a lot of silver spiders left over is the negative part for Phase 2. So once you get to Phase 2, looking from spawn to your right side, there's going to be a bunch of golds that come in, 1 machine gun colonist, and then there's going to be a time delay. I don't know, it feels like 10 or 15 seconds. And then after that point, after the time delay, there's going to be, on your left side, more golds, another machine gun colonist, and then there's going to be another time delay, and then NPCs are going to spawn in on your right side. So, pretty bad. Golds on both sides, and then a colonist. It's pretty rough. Plus, you have to deal with the spiders from the previous wave. So, kind of rough. Now, the only positive thing for Phase 3 is you have to kill everything for Phase 3, so you can actually reset, get healed up, and get ready for the 3rd phase, which is pretty rough. For Phase 3, once you kill the last enemy, you're going to have 3 drop ships that are finally going to open up, because they didn't open up previously, but now they're going to open up. Once you kill the last enemy, you have about 10 seconds before the drone ships open up. The drone ship, or the drop ship. The drop ship behind you is going to spawn red wasps. The drop ship in front of you to the right is going to spawn gold. Is going to drop gold ants. The drop ship to the left of you is going to drop silver spiders. Unless you're playing on hardest or lower. If you're playing on hardest or lower, the drop ship behind you is going to be red wasps, and the drop ships in front of you, left and right, are going to be yellow wasps. Which, to be honest with you, I don't know if that's actually harder, because I think wasps are pretty rough in this game, and since they're so fast and they don't tend to miss, they're pretty rough. So I don't know what's worse, silvers and golds, or 2 yellow wasp ships. But regardless, that's the difference. And then there's going to be a delay of time, and then there's going to be 2 drop ships of colonists that come in, and they're going to drop right in the middle of the map. So when you spawn, a little bit to the right middle, there's going to be 4 machine gun colonists and 1 shotgun colonists, armored ones of course. And then to the left middle is going to be the same thing, 4 machine gun colonists and 1 shotgun colonist. And meanwhile, there are tadpoles circling overhead the entire time, and they're going to be dive bombing you pretty soon as well. There are all 3 types of tadpoles. There are the small ones, the middle ones, and then there are 2 purple ones. So this phase is pretty brutal. So now to get to the last phase, there's one more phase. you have to kill most of the enemies, and for some odd reason you have like a few enemies left and then the next phase comes in. I'm not sure why they didn't make it so you kill all of them, but usually you have a few enemies left when the last phase comes in. Now the last phase is pretty brutal. You have 12 bosses that spawn all around you, around the entire outside of the map. Going clockwise from the front left of the map, from spawn, you have a Gray Queen ant, you have a King Spider, you have a Gold Queen, and then you have a Wasp Queen, and then along the right side you have a Gray Queen, a Silver King Spider, and then a Wasp Queen to your back right, and then along the back side you have a Gray Queen, another Gray Queen, and then a King Spider, and then along your left side, coming back around clockwise, you have a King Spider and then a Red Wasp Queen. Now that's pretty brutal because by this time most of your buildings are down. There's not too many buildings to begin with, and the Wasp Queens, of course, are going to be very fast. They can come right over to you. But the secret to this phase is once you kill 4 bosses, it doesn't matter which ones. Once you kill 4 bosses, you will get help with 5 Bargas that'll be dropped in, which is a lifesaver because that really is a big help for the last phase. So kill 4 bosses and you get 5 Barga help, and that is finally the end of the mission. Now, as far as equipment goes, what we did was this kind of is reminiscent of a Crimson Lotus, where a fencer is a lifesaver on this mission. The only difference this time around is a wing diver also is pretty good because she has a dash, so she's pretty fast. But what we did was we used 2 fencers. This is the safest way. If you want someone to help you with your other classes, you probably want at least 1 fencer, because fencer is just so fast in this mission, and you need speed. Speed is definitely helpful. What we took was 2 sets of high altitude missiles. I think high altitude are a little bit easier and better to use than the arm hounds, the DLC, because the range is almost infinite on these things. So we have 2 sets of FGX missiles, and then for the other setup you want something speed setup. So what I chose was the DLC jackhammer, which is this right here. The reason I like it is because it's a 96 meter range, and you can shoot it the same time as your shotgun. So I have the DLC jackhammer, and then I have the DLC shotgun. The reason I like the shotgun is because this thing does ridiculous damage per second, and you have 30 shots, whereas if you take the Stampede, which is also a good weapon, you can take the Stampede as well instead, but you only have 2 shots, and then you have to reload it for 10 seconds. So I just chose the shotgun. It has good range. I mean, obviously there's damage fall off, but has good range, and like I said, you can shoot at the same time as your jackhammer, which is pretty cool. As far as alternatives, I really do like the Blast Twin Spear DLC, because say you need some more speed, especially for the tadpole phase or just trying to run away, you can use this to really go far and faster. So you could always take the Twin Spear and then the shotgun, or the Twin Spear and the Stampede if you wanted to as well. That's if you feel like you're dying and you're having issues with speed. You could just try this instead. It's definitely a safer setup. If you're interested, check out my my video. Fencer is the fastest class again, and this is by far the fastest movement in the game. So this is definitely a safer way to move, but not as easy to fight with having the Twin Spear and the shotgun. Also, of course, you can also take the Blast Soul Spear, which I like as well in this game. But yeah, that's what we chose for Fencer. For Wing Diver, she's not as strong because she's not as good as killing the tadpole phase, because you really want somebody to kill the tadpoles very quickly, because that is actually probably the most threatening part of the mission. You can always take Mirage to kill the tadpoles from far away while you have a chance, while they're attacking the NPCs, which I'll cover later. But I would probably take Mirage and then Rapier Thrust DLC to kill the dropships really fast, because it's this ridiculous DPS with this Rapier Thrust. And then You probably could take the level 85 super speed dash to be safe for being to be fast, but to be fair, you're going to probably be running out of energy a lot with that 85. Whereas the DLC, you could probably take this DLC where it gives you 30% dash speed when you're going backwards, so you just be moving back the whole time when you dash instead of forward, and then side dash 20%. So you get some more speed and you get more energy regen on this 106. Or you could take the 112, which is like an all-around good energy core, but I don't know, it depends, it's up to you. I really do like the speed for 85, but like I said, you'll be struggling. And then as far as Ranger goes, Ranger's only good setup on this mission, probably, in my opinion, is going to be the Fusion Blaster, which is, I like to call the broken blaster in this game. This thing is ridiculous DPS and ridiculous range. So you probably take one of these, you probably take the Explosive Shotgun. Honestly, the Explosive Shotgun is just so ridiculously strong and such good range that you probably want to take that. You might switch it out for something else, like this rocket launcher is pretty amazing for range, if you want really far range and DPS. But maybe this missile launcher for the tadpoles. But really, shotgun and fusion blaster are his major weapons this time around, and he has a great sprinting item now, the level 108. But this does let you get slowed down when you get attacked by enemies, so I do tend to prefer the level 67 non-DLC sprinting item 200%, because when you're running with this thing, nothing slows you down, so it is the safest sprinting and the fastest sprinting in the game as well. And then of course Air Raider has a lot of options, but once again Air Raider struggles on this mission in getting to a safe spot and camping there. If you can get him to the corner, then he can be helpful from that corner, but until he gets to that corner and no enemies on him, he's going to struggle. So so it's just a matter of getting him to the corner is the biggest issue. He has an amazing strafe plan this time around on DLC, which can take out the drone, or the can take out the tadpoles as well, because mainly the tadpoles is the biggest threat, honestly, for the mobile classes that are helping fight. So I mean, he has a good strafe plan for that. He has great turrets around this time around. You could always use his Z laser turrets. They're very strong, very good, and they have good range too. So I would recommend probably taking those. I always like Spritefall or Satellite Blaster quite a bit on Air Raider, but honestly, I haven't really found a good strategy yet for Air Raider and Ranger. So I'm going to keep working on it and try and figure something out, but for now, I recommend pretty much Fencer or Wing Diver carrying you through this mission, and probably I would recommend a Fencer, honestly. So let's go ahead and go into the mission, explain how it works, and show what we did for this mission. Alright, and we're in. So right as we get started here, we're going to be using our missiles right away to take out the legs of the Deroys, and just try and take out the big drone ship as well when we get a chance. The spiders behind us aren't as big of a deal for us since we are fencers, but we're probably going to go forward rather than go backwards, just so we don't have to deal with the spiders as much. But with the missiles you can take out the legs pretty simply, and it's not too bad. But as you can see, the shotgun jackhammer combo I absolutely love, because you can get really close and just shoot both of them at the same time, because just of how fast they both fire, that it allows you to attack both at the same time. And it's just so fun and very, very strong. So once we kill all 4 Deroys, we're going to try and get hits on the big drone ship, but I think it's kind of hard for us to hit depending on our weapons, because I have more close range weapons, and my shotgun unfortunately knocks enemies away. But we're trying to take out the drones because as being fencers, because they're more of a threat to us than the spiders, just because they'll chip away at you very small and fast, over time. So it's just better to get rid of them for us. Once we get the majority of them dead, and we know that the next phase is coming, like for us, we know that once we kill the 4 Deroys and all the drones, and then the big drone ship, once you kill like 1 or 2 spiders or something like that, the next phase comes in. So what we're going to do is we're going to use these ships to our advantage that are in the air. They're just waiting there. So if you're a Wing Diver, you can go up there, of course. Ranger, if you had a helicopter, you can go up there. Air Raider could go up there as well. But what we're going to do is we're going to go on different ships up here, and we're going to fight and finish off the last drone ship, the giant drone ship, and then the spiders heal up, and we're going to be ready for the next phase. So we're just going to finish up here quickly. I'm going to zoom up a little faster. And then what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the right side of the map where the golds and the colonists spawn, because if we can kill all those enemies, we can save all the NPCs, because the NPCs are very valuable for later. So we have time to do that, because like I said, there's a time delay before the left side spawns in, and then another time delay before the NPCs spawn in. So we can kill all those golds and colonists before the NPCs even spawn in, which is nice. So he's on the other ship, I'm on this ship, so that way if enemies are below us, we can hit the enemies that are below the other person's ship. He's going to go down and get some health. I like going to the wasp ship here to stand on, and he's on the silver spider ship. But we can tend to kill a majority of the spiders if we just missile them at the same time. That we don't have as many to deal with. But honestly, it's not a big deal, because this phase is pretty simple. The first phase is hard, but the second phase is simple because, like I said, you can go on these ships and just fight. And you have to kill everything regardless, so you can take it slow at the end to heal up and get ready for phase 3. So phase 2 should be spawned in here any moment, which is the golds. And we're going to make sure to kill those really fast, because we found out the NPCs are very useful for the tadpole phase. And I would definitely suggest, if you can, try and saving those NPCs, because my goodness, they help you so much on the tadpoles. Because even with Fencer, the tadpoles are really, really rough, because just they don't miss. They're one of the enemies that do not miss on most class types, so very dangerous. Alright, so we're just going to missile these together on this side. We don't care about the other side to spawn in yet, because we want to save the NPCs on the right side first. Because those enemies will go to his ship and just stand underneath the ship. So once again, it's good that he's on that silver spider drop ship, because the enemies will just stop over there and they won't go near the NPCs. So he's going to try and kill the gold ants that are underneath my ship. That way they won't attack the NPCs, and then now, as you can see, the NPCs just spawned in. So they're going to go to their position on the right side, middle of the map, and just stand there. So we'll leave them for later when we need them. Now we're just going to attack the enemies underneath his ship, and we're going to leave one enemy so that we can heal up and get ready in position for the phase 3. One thing you do have to be careful with is you can actually hit the other person with your missiles on the ship, so it's best to just kind of stay further back on the back part of the ship, away from the other person. That way when the missiles come in, you probably won't be hit by the missiles, but it's still possible to get hit. But now we're just going to zoom up a little faster and get this phase done, because we're just killing like a few enemies left with golds. And we're going to go down there and kill the colonists as well, which is pretty easy with the weapons we have. Alright, now we're going to get position. He's going to go underneath the gold ship, and I'm going to go underneath the red wasp ship, because we need to kill those two. We don't need to kill the gold ship necessarily, but it makes it a lot easier. But the red wasp ship has to go, no matter what class you are. They are so damaging in this game, very dangerous. And I think wasps are the most frightening things in this game, quite honestly. Maybe tadpoles are second. Alright, so once you kill this last enemy, you have about 15 to 20 seconds before that ship opens. So just time that in your head, and then jump up in time so you can be close and just kill the ship. He's going to be doing the same thing to the gold ship. So I'm going to kill this as fast as I can, and then kill the wasp as fast as I can, because they will follow you and do so much damage to you. So once we did that, he's taking the NPCs on the right side, because he's right by that ship. The gold ship has the NPCs next to it. So he's going to kill the ship, and then take the NPCs, kill the golds that are chasing him, and then just move to the back right corner of the map and kind of go around clockwise from that corner. I'm going to be into the back left corner, and no enemies will come onto me, so I can actually attack the wasps, or the tadpoles, sorry, from far away, while he's taking the NPCs and just walking them backwards and using his missiles to attack all the tadpoles as well. The tadpoles are the most threat. We need to get them out as fast as possible. And right about this time, the colonists are going to be spawning in as well. The 10 colonists, the 4 or 8 machine gun ones and 2 shotgun ones, and they're also following the NPCs and trailing them. So he's just trying to, like I said, go clockwise around the edge of the map and just keep them alive and keep missiling, and we're just going to keep missiling everything. And this really helped out for the tadpole phase, saving those NPCs. So I would highly suggest trying to find a way to do that. That's where the other classes struggle. Wing Diver can do this. She could be fine, but I think Ranger would be a big struggle. You'd have to have sprint and you would need someone else missiling from far away if you're a ranger and just taking the NPCs running around. But you can kill the ship with the fusion blaster pretty quickly, and the shotgun is very strong, but it's all about mobility in this mission, so it'd be tough. But I think it is possible. Like I said, we're going to be working on strategy to beat this with 2 rangers. We're going to figure it out. We're going to upload any strategies. Of course, any other classes we're going to upload strategies as well for this. But this is pretty much, it reminds me of Crimson Lotus, like I said, in that Fencer is king on this mission for sure. And a Wing Diver is probably also fine because of, like I said, she has the dash item now, which allows her to be faster. Whereas before, she would just be able to fly and not dash, so she wouldn't be very fast. Okay, so now we have a train of enemies following us. We're still just going to keep missiling and attacking them and trying to kill the colonists whenever we get a chance to. But he winds up with having, I think, 2 Wing Divers alive at the end of this, and that's it. But that's fine, because even if we had nobody alive after that, they served their role in the EDF, and we will remember them very long time, because they gave their lives for the tadpoles to save the world, to save the Earth. Okay, so now we're going to work our way back around to the other side, kill that ship, and then, like I said, once you have a few enemies left, that's when the last phase comes in. And the last phase is pretty rough because even with Fencer, the Wasp Queens, there's 3 Wasp Queens, 1 red, 2 yellow. They can go right to you and attack you instantly because they're very fast on Inferno. So that's actually how I die. I wasn't paying attention, and I was too close to the red Wasp Queen, and she just one-shot me. So that was my mistake. But so I'm going to go over to the ship and kill it. It is smoking, so it's not going to be too hard. And once I kill this, it's pretty much going to spawn the next phase once we kill like 1 or 2 enemies. I think it's point-based, as far as I can tell, but I'm not sure. But we always have a few enemies left over on this phase. I don't know why, so that's unfortunate. But once they spawn in, you want to pick an easy enemy, easy target. If you have more people in the map, of course it makes it easier, but each person should try and take 1 enemy that's easy to kill, whether it be the King Spider or the Grey Ant Queen, and kill them as fast as possible, because as soon as you get those 4 enemies dead, then you can have Barga help, and that just makes it so much easier. So, of course, the front of the map is dangerous because of the Gold Queen and the Wasp Queen up there, and the left side is dangerous because of the red Wasp Queen. The back is probably the safest because you have, 2 Greys and King Spider. So it's tough. It is tough, but like I said, if you can focus and coordinate with your group just to try and kill the easiest enemy to kill. I mean, it could be easiest to kill the yellow Wasp Queens because they're in the air. They're always going to be there following you and chasing you. So that might be the way to go, but it just depends on what you feel comfortable with killing, of course. But regardless, they're going to be coming pretty fast to you, and I'm messing it up for some reason. I'm not really paying attention to the queens. I really need to be doing that. But yeah, I do make some mistakes in this run. But yeah, regardless, they're going to be coming to you, and they're going to be surrounding you pretty fast, which is unfortunate because there's so few buildings in this map. So it makes it very, very tough. So what we decided to do was he's just going to pull the enemies away and circle around, and I'm going to attack from far away with the missiles and just try and kill these as fast as possible. So this is where the Stampede for Fencer might be better than the actual Jackhammer shotgun combo. But I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter regardless what you take. But I think the Stampede might be better for the ending phase. But I mean, I could stay in the corner here. The tough part is, like, if Air Raider was on the map, I don't think he would be able to get to a corner like what I'm doing right here, because the problem is there's going to be enemies coming to him, and he won't have a chance to run away from them and have the Fencer or Wing Diver grab all the enemies and circle around. So it's going to be very difficult for Air Raider or Ranger to survive this phase, honestly. They just have to do as much damage as they can to a weak enemy. Like the King Spider has the least amount of health. That might be the best one to kill. And just try and do their part and then probably die. I mean, you could probably come by and revive the Air Raider and have him throw an air raid on the group and hopefully kill a couple of them, and then he'll probably die again. But there's really not much they can really do. You could always have a helicopter ready. That'd probably be the best thing for Air Raider or a Bagalta. ready, so that when this last phase comes in, he'll have a helicopter to get away, and then maybe you could probably get away from the enemies. It's actually pretty good to use a helicopter to kill the wasp queens. It's not too bad. As long as you fly high and just machine gun them, you can pretty much kill them pretty good with the helicopter. So I would recommend helicopter for Air Raider, honestly, for this last phase. And then just be ready, and then be flying high, and then just trying to get away from the pack of enemies. Have the fencer run around away from the Air Raider like a circle, and then once the Air Raider kills whatever's on them. Preferably if you stay to the back. If you stay into the corner where there's no wasp queen, you could probably get away with not having anything chase you. And then you could just get to a corner and then call your air raids in. That'd probably be the best thing. Ranger, probably all he can do is just find a good corner with a King Spider and the Grey Queen, and then just kill that as fast as possible, or maybe kill one of the yellow wasp queens. But now I'm just pulling away single enemies out of the pack and just killing them. Pretty simple. But this mission is pretty crazy. 12 bosses, pretty crazy. But once you have the Bargas come in, I don't know if they have super health, but they seem to last a long time, and they're pretty much a great help. So once you get to that phase, it's a lot easier. So just focus on killing 4 enemies as fast as possible, and that's all you can really do. But yeah, this is the mission. I wanted to at least cover the walkthrough of it, of what's involved in it, and just some ideas for tactics. We're going to be working on better tactics for Ranger and for harder classes, but hope this was helpful to you. Thanks a lot for watching, and remember, EDF doesn't leave a man behind, ever. And if you'd like to help support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing. Thanks a lot.